Hey everybody, welcome back to another Jackson Jet Setting Resort review. Today I'm very excited to finally make it to the Thompson Zihuatanejo in Zihuatanejo, Mexico. It's a quick 3-hour flight on American Airlines from my home airport of Phoenix, Arizona, and another 20-minute cab ride that costs about 25 or 30 bucks to get to the resort. It's only a 54-room resort, I believe, so it's really small. I am a Hyatt Globalist, and I used a suite upgrade before my stay to make sure I got the Lagoon suite with a plunge pool. So let's check out everything and enjoy my little hibiscus tea as I walk you through our room. So unfortunately, I couldn't confirm an oceanfront room with a plunge pool with my certificate, and we just decided to forego that, though the room was really great and very private, and the walk to the beach is maybe 2 minutes, so it really doesn't matter at this resort. It's very small in terms of, I guess, what you would think of a typical World of Hyatt property. Very boutique, really great service. I love the rooms and how custom everything felt. I guess the Thompson originally took this over from the Viceroy chain of hotels, and then Hyatt bought Thompson. So this came into Hyatt's program after the acquisition. I really loved our room. Nice, very comfortable king bed. Lots of plugs right next to the bed. Pretty fancy phone setup. You can see you do have a little Bluetooth alarm clock as well. There's plenty of options to play music in the room. Now we're going to walk over to the bathroom. I love the full-length mirror over there to the left. Just one sink here, but lots of little bath amenities, including some hand sanitizer and lotion. Love the Thompson bath amenities too. We used those for the first time in New York last year. You can check out that video on the channel. If you like these types of videos, please subscribe or give us a like. All help grow the channel. Thanks a lot. Love the bathroom and shower. Really cool tile there. Some reusable bath amenities, so nothing that you can take home with you, unfortunately. And then the sunken living room, which was really cool. The couch, pretty comfortable, though not something you probably lounge on all day, not something you can eat or sleep on as well. And then you have some Nespresso pods that were refreshed every day, as well as multiple water bottles, plenty of water bottles to go around here. Then the TV, which if you like to watch TV from the bed, it's a little far away. And then the minibar, which is not free here at Thompson, unfortunately, but pretty reasonably priced. I think it was like $3 beers for some Victorias, which I did indulge a couple times during my trip here. So that's about it for the interior space, and now we're going to head out to our porch and plunge pool, which is really cool. Usually you have to go to places like the Maldives to get your own plunge pool, but here in Mexico, there's a couple places that I've stayed that have them as well. Very comfortable, pretty much room temp, and very lovely. We did also receive a nice little welcome amenity of some macaroons. Really delicious. Everything at the resort food-wise was amazing. We'll show you all the food later, but first let's do a full tour of the resort here. So we're going to start at the very front. This is a public street with a nice little Thompson welcome sign there. Small little driveway that you basically just use when you're taking your taxis. They do have valet and self-parking as well, so that's an option if you happen to be driving in or if you rented a car. And then here is the main lobby. It's all open air, not very big, not really a place that anyone hangs out. There's no like lobby bar or anything like that. Like I said, it's only about 50 rooms on property, so most of the action happens on the beach for good reason. Some buildings are about 3 stories tall, others 2, and then even some bungalows that are just 1 story. We were on the ground floor, so something very private, but even the second and third floor balconies have plunge pools, so don't think that you missed out on your plunge pool upgrade if you were on a higher floor. We went in May 2023, so it was a little hot for our visit. I do recommend visiting more in the winter months, but this is the time that we found some award availability on American, made the trip a little bit more affordable here. This resort does run about 25,000 points a night as base level pricing within World of Hyatt program. There's probably some price points during the year that justify that, but for our dates it made sense to pay cash. We paid about $300 a night, and we don't pay the resort fee because we are World of Hyatt Globalists. And if you use points, you don't have to pay the resort fee either. So right now we're actually walking past our room and heading towards the gym, which is in that little hut at the end of the walkway. Got really hot in there during our workout, so not necessarily the best hotel gym I've ever experienced by any means. We were pretty lazy this trip. We really only headed into town one night. There's lots of restaurants in town and shopping in downtown Zihuatanejo. It's also known for its seafood just because of how amazing the port is and just how much sea life there is here to fish. So we do recommend heading off campus a little bit during your visit, but food on the resort is absolutely amazing, if a little expensive for Mexico, but that's kind of to be expected at a resort of this caliber. As you can see, it's just one big room. There is some glass that separates the inside from the outside, which is pretty cool looking, but fortunately there's some gaps, so this room just gets really hot despite the air conditioning. So now we're gonna head away from the gym and head towards one of the pools. This is the family pool. It also has a swim-up bar. The time during our visit wasn't very busy. There is a little spa to the right here, which we did enjoy one spa treatment. Treatments were pretty reasonably priced at about $100, and we got a $25 discount per person when we checked in, so that helped a little bit of the savings as well. This is just the little resort shop, so you can get your sunscreen if you need it, bathing suits if you forgot, a little bit of some souvenirs too. So there are 2 restaurants on property. La Ceniza, which is next to the pool that we're walking towards right now. And then How, which is also the breakfast for globalists. So I'll show you some of the breakfast food. Absolutely fantastic food across the board, as I've mentioned already. So that really made our visit special. But you can see that the family pool is not gigantic by any means, but has a lot of shade, which is nice, especially when it's hot outside. Both restaurants face the ocean, which is the main attraction here. This resort sits on Playa La Ropa, so it's a nice little mile-long beach. You can walk from either end pretty quickly. There's a couple other hotels on the beach. All felt very safe and just absolutely gorgeous views, as you'll see in a second. So La Ceniza is where they kind of do their special menus for the night. So we actually participated in the paella night, but there was taco night, there's barbecue night, a number of different themes going on, and the food's all pretty damn good. Right there are the swim-up suites, so you can actually have a shared pool that's a little bit larger than those plunge pools, and so all those rooms connect into the same pool. Kind of cool if you have a big group to all get those rooms and kind of have your own gigantic private pool. Here's all the sun loungers. These were really easy for us to grab throughout the day. They'll set them up for you. Nice little towels on the chairs as well as the beach towels. You can get waiter service here for drinks, and you can hang out there all day if you want. Was not something that was, had to get at 7 a.m. like a lot of resorts, which absolutely drives me nuts. Here's a quick look at one of the ponds at the resort. So as you walk from kind of where our room is towards the beach, you have to cross over these man-made lakes, making it really, really pretty. And now we're walking towards the adult pool right here, which overlooks the beach, has a great view. We didn't really play around in this one only because it didn't have a ton of shade and it was very, very hot. So we instead enjoyed the family pool, which worked great for us. Then here is How. So this is where the resort's bar is, as well as a restaurant that's open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Do not miss eating here. We ate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We'll show you the footage of the food as well. Just really, really good. And now we're gonna walk back towards our room across some of those lakes that I mentioned. Now let's take a look at a little bit of how our stay went. So our first meal on property was lunch, since we arrived around 3 p.m. So you can see prices are in pesos. It's about 18 to 1 right now in Mexico. So nothing insane, but drinks were about $10 a piece for something alcoholic. Loved the views from Howe, just overlooking the ocean, which is really, really pretty. Loved my first margarita here. My wife had some water. And as one does in Mexico, I ordered tacos. But first we had some delicious guacamole with some fresh watermelon there and goat cheese. These were my shrimp tacos, which have immediately shot up to top 3 tacos I've ever had. There's the Thompson, little relaxation going on here. As you can see, the beach is just really pristine, really just trash free. We even saw some folks picking up trash when it did appear. Really gorgeous. And then there's a look back at the resort. The resort has a lot of real estate. It's pretty long along the beach, probably a couple of blocks. This area got hopping on the weekend. It's kind of a nightclub slash day club at certain parts of the year. But just really, really loved the entire environment here. So like I mentioned earlier, we participated in Paella night, so that's coming up on night number 1 here. We stayed a total of 3 nights. It's the only night we ate at La Ceniza. But they comb the beach to make it look nice and pristine at night for you. If you want to sit on the sand, you can totally do that. But we opted for the patio on Paella night. So this was a prefix meal. Just very, very delicious and pretty reasonable at $42, I think, a person. So we got a lot of little appetizers with some jamon, and then some octopus. Tons of octopus here in Zihuatanejo, so if you're a fan of that, you are going to be in for a treat, as well as a lot of shrimp. And here's our churros. So we went to bed and woke up, walked over to Howe where they have this really pretty mural. It was time for breakfast again. There's a lot that's included in breakfast for globalists. It was a little confusing though. Some things were included, some things weren't. So we just kind of ordered what we wanted, and some days we were charged a little bit extra for like 1 extra plate of fruit, and some days we weren't. So couldn't really figure that out completely. A little delicious bread basket each morning. And then I got the chilaquiles with chicken a lot on our trip. It was just really, really good. My wife tried the chicken and waffles first day with some bacon marmalade, which was really good. And then we actually had some just soft bacon that they called one of the days. That was really good. So overall, really delicious. And then we went for lunch as well, since this was really the only restaurant open for lunch. And I got the ribeye tacos, which is delicious. Then for dinner we went back to Howe, which has a little bit of a different menu at night. We ate on the sand, which was really nice. I got the risotto with some conchinita, which was just absolutely amazing. And then the shrimp for my wife. Here's a look at the dessert menu, which we didn't try that night, but the next night we did. We had a little iguana guy outside of our room when we exited in the morning. But the rest of this video is probably just going to be straight food. So here's our next breakfast. Love the acai bowl look. I mean, everything was very elegantly plated, and the food was equally delicious. But overall, just really nice. And here's another look at the beach. I mean, we really were super lazy this trip. Hope you really get the idea that this place is just really pretty. A little hard to get to, especially for those on the East Coast. But overall, just really loved the value that Hyatt gave us on this trip. Went with the steak and fries on our last night, which was delicious. Enjoyed one last sunset, and then woke up again for some breakfast at Howe. We did have dessert in our room the last evening, so that's about it for our trip down here to Zihuatanejo. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you on the next vid.